Hello, folks. We're back. Jason and Austin, FB&F podcast. Maybe a little title change coming in the
Yeah, I
future,
thought
but
I thought we I thought we were changing that. What's the new name?
we don't have it yet. We've narrowed it down to a couple of really good ones, but we haven't really branded yet. We need to brand it. We need to really
Yeah,
lock it in there.
but that's all right. But yeah,
And
we're
we'll get
champ,
there when we get there, right? So,
champion
fellas, here's the deal.
championship.
Yeah, here's the deal, fellas. We're in the championship week. Both your boys here have been knocked out, as we've said before. It hurts the
Everywhere.
soul
Everywhere. I've been knocked out everywhere. So
everywhere. No such thing as championships. Um, but here's the deal. We're gonna go through hopefully quick, hopefully effectively the journey of how these two gentlemen got to this stage. And we're gonna start out with trades. What did these fellas do throughout the season to kind of get them there? And what we're gonna see is a couple of interesting names. I mean, definitely pieces that got these guys here, but not as much movement as you think. I mean, I don't know about you, Jay, but I am trading like an absolute delinquent during the season. Um, and things like this, like seeing these guys just like do minimal trades, makes me wonder if that's not the way to be. I don't know. What do you think?
yeah, I mean, it really depends on the team. Some teams I am definitely trading very heavy because I know what I'm doing. Like even in this league, I traded a lot, but like maybe I shouldn't have traded because maybe I would have made a deeper run, but I don't know. It really is based on team, but you're not wrong. Like these two teams did not really make any trades. But hey, I think it's because we literally just had the draft. So, there's
Yeah,
they held steady to their team, and went with their core. And look at them now.
yeah. I think too, just like personally, looking at the league going through the whole year, I felt like the only way I could have really competed was to make a couple of splash trades. And I think I made like two or three splash trades, like definite moves. But I made more of my moves towards the future. The moves were not really to win right now. More of them were to say, all right, the teams that are gonna make it to the championship, they're a little older. So maybe I'll catch the wind in 2024 and 2025. So like I said, we both of us were concerned with Jose's team and Patrick's team. Patrick got the absolute short end of the stick, which is just unbelievable, and Jose's in the championship. So I think most of us, or at least yourself and I, Jay, when we were trading, we were kind of like, if I put my chips in this year, I still know I'm going against two juggernauts. So
Yeah,
that
for
might
what?
not be the best. Yeah, that might not be the best move. So um regardless of that, regardless of like how the league was looking, if we look at Michael Mastro's team, so he is going up against the Juggernaut. He made three trades throughout the year, which is again small number, pretty unremarkable. Jose made four, small number, pretty unremarkable. And here are the big shifts. So in the draft, Mastro trades up to receive Mike Evans. He trades up to the 901 and he trades away the 11, 10, the 9, 10, and a 2024 third. Patrick receives Kendre Miller, which is yet to be seen for New Orleans. I mean, the way that Alvin Kamara played this year, I think it's still his job. I don't. I
For sure.
maybe Kendre sees more next year just to give Alvin Kamara rest as he ages, but I still think it's Alvin Kamara's
And
job.
they still have Jamal Williams on their contract as well for what, another 2 years? So it's just interesting.
Yeah, so it's
So
it's a loaded backfield, and I think for the Saints that's good. I think for Kendre Miller that's bad.
correct.
So that was the 11-10. That was Kendre Miller. The 9-10. This is probably the biggest splash of the trade, which is just devastating for Patrick that he didn't make it this far. Was Mike Evans? Like Mike Evans at the 9-10. I think all of us faded Mike Evans. I think all of us assumed that with Baker Mayfield this would be the beginning of the end. But apparently Baker Mayfield is in talks with Tampa Bay to
Be the
to extend
quarterback.
their contract to
Be
like
the
be the guy.
quarterback.
Yeah. So apparently Mike Evans is just going to get 1,000 yards until he's 38 years old. I mean this guy's just unbelievable. He's definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite athletes in the NFL right now. Just good for him. That's
I'm
amazing.
surprised
And
Mike
then
Evans is not on Jose's team with all of the grandpas that he has. So
yeah, I'm surprised Jose didn't snag Mike Evans beforehand. I'd be curious to see who Jose did snag in the ninth round. But 2024 third is yet to be seen what Patrick does with that. But assets for the future always are going to gain value up until that draft day. So, in my opinion, Patrick wins that trade. But as we both discussed before the show, him having Mike or Evan Ingram is massive because TJ Hawkinson and Evans have been two very large roles in him getting to this point. But now with TJ Hawkinson hurt in the championship for him, which is just really brutal. At least he has another very competent wide receiver to lean on. So Evans is capable of scoring 20 points on any given game. Not that he's been doing it a lot recently, but at least you have the hope of a high upside going against a juggernaut like Jose.
for sure.
Any comments on that trade? You kind of already went in there. I just didn't want to
Yeah,
go
I
into the next one.
mean, yeah, I mean, Evan Ingram is good to have. It was once again TJ Hawkinson went down. He has definitely been exploding the last couple of weeks, but also Trevor Lawrence is out this week. So
Oh,
that's a little bit of a bump down for Evan Ingram for
wow.
championship weekend. So, but
Well, hopefully,
you did mention what did Jose draft in the ninth round? You guessed it, Keenan Allen. So, you know,
oh my goodness. So he was right again.
uh,
He did it. He did the
it
right
is
thing.
it's just so crazy to just like even like look at his draft. It's a good draft. Like you look at it and this is what we all should strive to be doing out here. It's definitely a good redraft draft. And
Yeah, well, here's the question, Miro, and I'd love to hear your opinion. If you knew that you could draft an old head team that would survive for at least 2 years, would you do it? Would you do it to say, all right, I could potentially win back-to-back championships? Because I don't think Keenan Allen's going anywhere, right? I don't think if you look at Jose's team, like I don't. Well, if you look at Patrick's team, Mike Evans isn't going anywhere. Like Tyreek Hill isn't going anywhere, right? Like these names that are older guys that were moving on. I mean, here's a name that didn't work out, right? Stephon Diggs, right? So, like this game of youth, which is dynasty football,
yeah.
are we getting it wrong? Not are we getting it wrong, but like
No,
at startup
we're
drafts,
getting
if
it
you
wrong.
see,
We are getting it wrong.
I'm just saying, like if at a startup draft, when you're seeing teams go youth, 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 and you do what Jose just did, which just said, listen, maybe he said redraft, but maybe he said, well, maybe I can get 2 years out of this guy. Oh, I can get 2 years out of this guy. Oh, I can get two. If you play in a 2 year window rather than a 5 year window, I mean,
That's what they say to
when it
do.
really comes down to it,
The
you want to
people
be a redraft team to win, right? To
the
win the
people
chip.
say to do a 2 to 3 year type of window. So like
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, for example, in your league, not to cut you off, in your league, my team is as baby as it can be. It is all of 2023 and all of 2022, like the best players of those 2 years, other than Tua and Kyler Murray and Sam Howell. Like three quarterbacks from kind of different year. Well, Sam Howell would have been 2022, but so it's going to take me somewhere between 5 and 7 years for them to be this old, right? For them to be the
oh,
Keenan
for
Allens,
sure.
to be the Tyreek Hills. So, like, am I setting myself up for, did I push myself too far back? Like, that's what I'm worried about. Being in this dynasty mindset, did I, especially in your league, did I just invest so much in the youth that I'm going to wait until year 5, year 6, year 7 of our league to even be considered a true championship contender, not a playoff contender, a championship contender.
It's all about the moves that you make though. Like I feel like you need to decide which direction you really want to go in and kind of go from there, but not be so I don't know.
I would love, and listen, we are not at that analytical stage yet, but man, I would love to just run through like 2020 through 2024 the lineups of like all the championship teams. Like if you could somehow get that data from Sleeper, just like were they all old heads? Like what percentage of them were old heads? What percentage of them were mid running guys like T Higgins? What percentage of them were like youth? I'd love to see that combination,
Yeah, maybe coming soon.
that pie chart.
Coming soon there. But I don't know. I don't even like what did I even do? I think I tried going like old head and then like it just like okay. Like yeah,
Well, you did have Diggs. You did. So you did
I
go
did have
semi old head.
Diggs and I was like I needed running backs to compete and then I don't know, everything just fell apart and I don't even know. The draft was not good.
Well,
We are not happy about the draft, but hey, we did.
year one of this league, everyone's definitely got us thinking about dynasty philosophy. I think that dynasty philosophy is an ever molding thing, but man, this is the first time I've ever really been like, old heads are the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, he got lucky. Well, he didn't get lucky, but I mean, he got lucky obviously in drafting the players that he got, and they've worked out. And CMC is the most rostered player on championship rosters this year,
He did that too. He did that like a couple years back also. It was either 2020 or like
probably
2021.
when he was RB1
And then I think last
in
year, was it last year or
2019.
the year before it was Cooper Cup? Like there's like every year there's like this one or two players that are just like they're frequent in championship stuff. So it's pretty wild. The guy who beat me, ironically, in my listener league, um, has CMC.
Yeah, well, CMC is an animal, and
Well, CMC can go rot.
so I don't know. It's definitely an interesting question, though. Like, do you go young? Do you go old? Do you do both? Like, I mean, it's
It's
all
a
about the player's approach, and you gotta.
yeah,
I think Jose definitely got a good break though with all the players. Like, what if he drafted Stephon Diggs? And
yeah.
his fall off was massive. You
What
know,
I will say about Jose's draft though is that so many people were avoiding older names that he was able to get depth with
yes,
older names.
he was embracing it.
Like he just wouldn't stop drafting people over the age of 28.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get into his other addition, though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Let's get into his side of things because there was a huge name that helped him out that he got so late.
are we staying on Master or are we staying on Jose?
Let's go to Jose for the draft right now since we're on that topic here.
All right, yeah. So we'll go to one of Jose's draft trades. So Jose traded with me in the draft twice. His first trade was that I received the 1804 in exchange for the 1808 and the 2808. And then his second trade was that I received the 3004 in exchange for the 3008 and the 3208. In both of those trades, at the 1804, um, who did we say that I didn't write those down?
You got Puka.
Oh, I got Puka at the 1804. I
Also
love
into
that.
his
Very
crystal
happy about
ball.
that.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of crazy. Like I am also
Very happy
happy
about
for
that.
you. Who
I
knew
kept
that
hearing
you
people
knew?
talk about this kid from Stanford who got injured, who should have had a better season, yada yada yada. I was like,
He was
whatever. Worst get
he was from
he's on
BYU.
LA.
He
Yeah.
went to BYU, not Stanford.
Oh, I thought he was this,
But still, you're that's ridiculous. That's
but he
I
did have like an injured career, right? And he like couldn't play and
I don't
like his
really
draft
know.
capital. I thought
Some
he was Stanford.
I look it up, BYU, I'm telling you.
All
Uh
right. All right.
but
Long story short, Puka, I'm not upset about. I'm
for
not
sure.
complaining about that.
That's
But
cool.
Jose really grabbed the staple for his team. Those two picks, the 1808 and the 2808. The 1808, Raheem Mostert, there's the big staple.
Raheem
And
Mostert,
yeah,
RB2 of the season. Also, did you see overnight what happened with Raheem Mostert?
no, what happened?
Not playing today. He is not
Ooh,
playing today. Crazy.
that is pretty wild. Jose better be watching because I didn't even know that. He better know that that's a thing.
Well, he's still in his lineup, so look
That's what I'm
out.
saying.
Look out.
Wow.
Championship
So
weekend.
Mikey Mastro down TJ Hawkinson and Jose down Raheem Mostert. This might actually be a relatively decent battle.
Well, we'll get into that until a little bit, but I think that's seriously uh such a huge pickup at the 1808 getting Raheem
Yeah.
Mostert when
I
everyone
mean,
was
like I said, he
on him.
just saw anybody over the age of 28 and was like, hello.
It's honestly fantastic. I love the pickup. It's one of the best
Yeah.
things ever. Um,
And the second trade with myself was not as a big a deal.
the least
Honestly, the
electric thing.
names. Say that again.
It was the least electric thing.
Yeah, there was not many names that were important in that trade, so we don't even really have to go into it. Sticking with the draft, we'll go back to Mastro. Mastro trades the 410. No, sorry, Mastro receives the 410 and the 503 in exchange for the 403 with Sean, and Sean picks Najee Harris at the 403. But these are two pretty big names. I mean, one didn't do a lot
Sure.
for him this year, but I think is going to do a lot for him next year. The 410 T. Higgins, great name, bad season, but great name. TJ Hawkinson at 503, massive name. Injured for the championship, devastating. Would have been a massive, massive bolster for this, run against Jose, the Dominator. But like we said, he's got Evan Ingram to kind of fill that tight end position, and he'll have to use bench players to fill his flex. I mean, that's why we talk about all the time, like how important it is to have depth, right? So
Hmm.
Jose is going to have the lead in this championship just based off the fact of how much depth he has. Um, but yeah, two great names. I definitely think Mastro won that trade with Sean. Um,
For sure. Najee Harris
and
lost his job like a little bit
yeah,
there. So,
yeah. I don't like to be a hater, but Najee is not the thing. He's not
but
the
I
guy.
will say, obviously we're talking about like everyone's team's, journey here. T. Higgins was huge last week. So
Yeah,
really, real big stuff right there. You
he
never
will be. He definitely helped Mikey get to this point, no doubt. Next year he's going to be much more of a season-long asset to you because he will go to another team and he will be a number one on another team. If these last couple
one can
weeks of
only
his
hope.
performance without Jamar Chase hasn't proven it, then I don't know what will.
Yeah, one can only hope, honestly. But yeah,
Yeah. Mikey's last trade, all of his trades were in the draft, by the way. He hasn't traded outside of the draft. So, like, super consistent, right? Mikey receives the 1910 in exchange for the 2508 and a 2025 fourth. He traded with his cousin. His cousin receives Tutu Atwell at the 2508, and at the 1910, Mikey takes Stenson Bennett, backup quarterback. You should listen. We didn't really have to talk about it, but I wanted to talk about it. I just love taking risks on quarterbacks that you think might see the field. He didn't see the field as far as I know. It is what it is.
I
But
don't
in
think
these
so.
later rounds, if you don't have a name that you definitely like, just look at the QB2s. I mean, think about how many QB2s and QB3s are playing this year. Like
I
it's
think
crazy. It's actually
I
crazy.
saw I saw a statistic. I wish I remember the number, but I think there was like 53 quarterbacks that started a game this year. 53 different quarterbacks.
Out of 32
There's
teams.
out
Like
of 32 teams.
that's it's nuts. That's
It
absolutely
is.
nuts. So like I've talked about it multiple times. You know my philosophy on this.
You love the QBs.
You just have to have QBs because you never know their value can change instantaneously. You can if you grab a second round, sorry, a second um like on the depth chart, a number two quarterback. He becomes a starter, and you have the number two from somebody else's starter who just got injured and lost the entire season. That guy's still trying to make the playoffs. You just got a free second rounder at a bare minimum. You just got a free second round pick, right? So it's
Yep.
like these values just skyrocket. So we're out of the trades that happened during the draft. Let's go into some of the trades that happened in season. There was really only one. Oh, there were two, both from Jose. The first one was with Ben. Jose had Mark Andrews, and I also had Mark Andrews. Devastating. He goes down, um, and so Jose trades a third, 24th third for Likely. I think that's a great trade.
It is.
It's a great trade. I think that Um, Ben probably didn't have use of Likely. He saw that Jose needed Likely with the absence of Andrews. I would have tried to get more, to be honest. Maybe Jose was being tough, which good for Jose. He gets Likely, fills the position. Now, if you look at what Likely has performed, not horrible, right? But for a championship run, you want to go get the dogs. You got to go get the dogs. So what's Jose do? His second trade, he makes a big splash trade. He trades away his injured Mark Andrews and a 2024 first. Granted, it's either going to be the 112 or the 111, so it's the end of the first round. So I think this is a good trade. For Kelsey, extremely relevant, helping him get to the championship. I mean, we both know that Kelsey has not been Kelsey, but at least you know he's going to get double digits. He will get double digits. Michael Thomas, which is irrelevant. But if it's a throw in, it's a throw in, it's something. And a
Yeah.
2026 second. I think that Kelsey, for me, Kelsey in the 26 second makes sense for Mark Andrews in the 24 first. The Michael Thomas, it was a flip of a coin. You're just hoping that you can get another
Yeah.
flex position. For him, it didn't work out. But I mean, I would have tried to maybe get a better name than Michael Thomas, but
I love I
I think
love
it's a great trade.
I
I
love
think
the
both
trade for both
sides,
parties. I think it
yeah,
was
both sides are victorious.
yeah,
Jose, go ahead. Go ahead, Amiro.
yeah. When it happened, I always said, wow, like that is just it's just such a beautiful trade. It really is. Like that's
Who
this
recommended that trade, by the way?
honestly, it was probably me though. I really
Oh,
do.
well, yeah, I was going to give us credit, but sure,
No,
you
it's
can take the
me. It's
glory.
me. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take the credit. But yeah, we said that, so I really hope that's where they got it from. But I'm gonna give a spicy take here. I don't think the Kelsey traded needed to happen. Isaiah Likely has been putting up slightly better numbers than Travis Kelsey. Slightly.
Well, is that just because of the 120-point game win
Isaiah Likely, look at this. Look at this.
in the last, what, 4, 5 weeks?
4 weeks. We have an 8, 18, 28. So you
Oh, that's an 18.
yes,
I'm
sir.
looking at the screen. I thought it was a 10.
8, 20, 18, 8. And you go to Travis Kelsey, 12, 14, 7, 9. So slightly better, but obviously everybody's going to be making that trade. Like, do you want to go in with confidence? Travis Kelsey is the big name, but sometimes that does hurt you. So,
It does. I mean,
people got to be,
Stephon Diggs is the example of that, right? You go in
yeah,
with a big name and you think it's going to work out, but it might just be their time. Here's the thing, because he has both of those pieces, he's good for a while.
yeah,
If Kelsey plays again next year, he plays Kelsey and he's got Likely. And then you're thinking, okay, Likely might be the starter 2 years down the road. Like Mark Andrews, he's not old, he's not young, but Mark Andrews,
Mark Andrews is easily probably a top three tight end in Dynasty, I would still.
oh, absolutely. I mean, like Mark Andrews will be the guy,
I think
and TJ
Kelsey's
Hawkinson, they will
Kelsey's
both
dropping
be.
off a little bit.
Yeah, he definitely is.
I would put Kelsey at like maybe like 5 right now or something. Like
But
I
watching the way that Likely plays when
oh
Andrews is not around, doesn't that give you, like, for Jose, doesn't that give you encouragement? Like, all right, yeah, maybe Andrews is the dude right now, but at some point Andrews is going to drop off. At least I know I have the young buck behind him.
and people get injured. Like it just happened. So boom.
Yep. And I like Mark Andrews, but he's been semi-injury prone in the last 3 years.
He he has. But injuries, you can't hold injuries against a person.
Yeah,
It
you can't
happens.
really predict injury that well, but it's been a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So those are the in-season trades. We went through all of the in-draft trades. A couple of notable adds and drops. So Jose adds Joe Flacco late in the year, not for use. He didn't need him for. I mean, he could have threw him in his lineup every week and it would have worked out, but he didn't use him at all.
Literally.
Um, in fact, who's his second quarterback?
Matthew Stafford.
Dude, I don't know. I might start Joe. I mean, it's over now, but
Matthew Stafford has been doing well though. You
he
can't you,
has. He's been
you
doing
can't
well
you can't deny
like a
his look,
normal quarterback,
his
but Joe
past couple
Flacco
weeks,
has been
29, 29,
crazy.
23, 24. Joe Flacco has been slightly outproducing Matthew Stafford. Not anything crazy. It doesn't
Yeah.
change anything.
I just Flacco has been an absolute nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
So so it's not helping Jose because he's on his bench, but it's definitely hurting anybody who would have tried to go against him.
It would have
So
helped. It would have helped Mike Mastro
oh,
today. It
Absolutely.
would have helped him. You
And he
put Joe
definitely, in my
Flacco in
opinion,
there
he definitely would have started Joe Flacco over
over
Geno
Geno
Smith.
Smith. Like, what is
Yeah,
Geno Smith? Look at him.
yeah,
The he is not having a season he had last year.
he's
So
hurting. He's hurting.
for sure.
So Jose, good defensive move on that ad. Two notable drops, probably people I wouldn't have dropped. Keaton Mitchell,
Keaton Mitchell. Yep.
Keaton Mitchell, and is it Chris Rodriguez?
Chris
Uh,
Rodriguez.
so,
Yep.
so two running backs, young, youthful. Maybe not the starters right now, but they've been jumping in while other people are injured. When you have young running backs that are not the starters, but they get time like during injury and they produce during that time, I just feel like you have to hold on to them because you never know if they're going to take the mantle.
Well,
You
Jose
just,
doesn't like young people, so
yeah, that's true. Jose just said, "You're under 28. You're not my starter. Leave my team."
yeah.
Notable additions for Mastro to help him get to this point were Drew Lock was a pickup and Taysom Hill was a pickup. Taysom Hill actually won him some games. I remember watching Taysom Hill go off a couple times this
Taysom
year.
Hill won me some games as well in some other
Yeah,
places. So he had such a good like 4 or 5 week run. It was incredible.
yeah, it's pretty
Starting him
wild.
at tight end is a cheat code. But then
It really because that sometimes he's a quarterback, so that is absolutely
yeah,
a cheat
it's
code.
ridiculous. The fact that he has both of those designations is insane. But he really is a cheat code.
Yeah. So let's do this, Jay. Let's go to like week 7, maybe even a little later. Let's go to like week 10, and then let's see some notable wins. Is week 10 too deep? Week seven's probably good, right?
I guess we can't really even see what their record was at that current time though,
Yeah,
which
you can. It's right under their name.
yeah, but that's what they ended with.
Oh, because that's staying over through the whole.
Hmm.
Oh, that's a pain in the butt. Eh,
But
that's we can
yeah,
still see the box score.
we
We can
have
still see
the
the box
we
score.
have technology here. So fill in the gap for 2 seconds.
Oh, okay. Uh, I'll do my invisible juggling act.
But I mean, realistically though, we really are just going to be looking at Mike Mastro's. Jose's team has been on the top of the standings since
What
literally
was Jose's losing record? Did he have two losses?
Jose had 2 losses. Yes.
Yeah. Um, and I don't think any of those were at a pivotal moment. I think that he lost twice early in the season. Um, so I mean, right there, I'm pretty sure it says a 9-game win streak, right? So he hasn't had any pivotal losses that would change his trajectory because I think those happened really early in the year. Um, as we all know, Mikey took me down in the first round of the playoffs that I shouldn't have even been playing against him, but his cousin sabotaged me. So there was a little Mastriani sabotage going on there. And these guys are playing for winnings, right? So in our league, the second place winner is going to win their money back and, double up. All right. The first place winner wins a nice lump sum of the remaining money.
All right.
So,
We got the records.
all right, Jose, what are we looking at for? Well, we're not going to go over
All
Jose.
right.
Mikey, what are we looking at for Mikey?
We're just gonna go week 10. We're gonna go week 10. Week 10, we have Jose currently standing at 7-2. So obviously on top of the standings. And Mike Mastro is 5-4. So still fighting to get into the playoffs, but obviously he was the 6th seed. So he's been in that range for quite some
Yeah,
time.
just battling all season long.
He's been battling to get to this point. So, but obviously, once again, Jose has always been on top. So that's nothing that's shocking here. But yeah, that's how it looked like that week 10. And then here we are right now, and he got to that spot. So
So who does he? So let's look at Michael only, not Jose. Let's go week to week and let's see how he wins and how he loses. Like, who did he play right here in week 10?
I can go through every single week.
Yeah,
So
go from 10 to the playoffs.
all right, so week 10, he faces Noah. That's a big win right there. Big win
That's a
over
huge
Noah.
win because we know Noah can go
Yes, sir.
nuclear at any given moment.
Yes, sir. Week 11, he actually faced Jose and lost.
Pretty sure it was Noah that eliminated Patrick, right?
Mm-hmm. Week 12, he faced Jack and won, but everybody beats Jack nowadays. Ooh, super. This is a big, big matchup. Week 13 faces Ben. He wins 100 to 154.18 to Ben's 151.49. Let's
Wow.
let's look at that real quick on.
A tight, what, three something point winner? Wow.
Let's look at that real quick here. Boom. Week 13. Bang. That's an electric matchup right there.
Sheesh.
Evan Ingram. That's Evan Ingram's first crazy good game. Taysom Hill making making the lineup.
Yeah, taste there he is. T Hill making it happen.
Geno Smith actually showed up though. Look at that. 36. Baker with a down game. That's a good matchup. That's some good stuff.
Yeah,
Uh
Ben's running back core was just tough this year.
For sure. Week 14, he faced Mike Miro, and he lost. So he got that revenge spot last week. Mike crushed him by 46 points.
Mike beating up Mike. Little little internal conflict.
And that was the last matchup of the regular season. And then here we are. And then week 15, obviously he beat you, first round of playoffs. And then
Obviously.
it is obvious he did do it. So, and then Mike Mastro, obviously he beat Mike. So if you honestly even look at points forced, Mike Mastro put up 168 last week and 169 in the first round of the playoffs. So he's sitting at this 168, 69 range. If he could do that again, we know he definitely has some hope. But Jose put up 192 last week. So
Mike has to put up his highest performances, which as we know is between 160 and 170, and Jose has to crumble. But as we say every week, these things happen.
yeah,
These
the
things happen.
analytics have Jose, what is his percentage of winning? Not that that really matters, but
Let's feed into the beast a little bit, right?
67%. So boom.
Yeah, and I guess Patrick is projected to win seventh place. Let's make sure we highlight that while we're here.
Yeah. He's projected to win seventh place, I guess. We can get into that a little bit more, a little bit. I mean, Frankie had like a decent game so far, so he's gonna be put the pressure on him a little bit.
Yeah.
But cool, yeah. I guess let's start digging into this matchup here. We
Hmm.
had a game last night. We had four players already play. Dak Prescott put up his master class of performance, 25 points right there. That's where you want him. He did his job. The job is done for him. Dak did it. Go to the other
Yeah,
side. Go
Golf did
Dak.
not.
Go to the other side. It is not the best. Jared Goff has the most turnovers of any quarterback since week 11, I believe. Pretty,
He's
pretty wild.
he's crumbling under the pressure.
He is.
I love Jared Goff. I hope this doesn't happen to him. Like just for his career, I actually like him. I think that his career path has been very weird. I think that they treated him kind of poorly in the Rams organization. I mean, I don't have a problem with the Rams, but that head coach, man, he's a lot. He's great, but he's also tough. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like Jared Goff. I'm rooting for the kid.
The whole situation was definitely interesting, but it worked out
It's
because they
ironic
won.
though
They
that
won a Super Bowl.
this is what I was assuming would happen when I played Mikey, but Jared Goff went nuclear when he
Yeah,
played me.
what he had like 30,
41 points.
41 points. Well, he came back to life. Or actually he came back
He
to Earth.
dug himself back into the grave. Yeah.
But I will say, I'm not sure if you were watching the game last night, but Mikey got absolutely saved yesterday by the
The
last
Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown.
St. Brown touchdown. Like
Yeah.
If
But
he's
that's why
back,
Amon-Ra St. Brown is so good because
that's
literally at any second of the game he can score a touchdown. Like Amon-Ra St. Brown is a top five, arguably cornerstone piece of dynasty football right now.
for sure.
He's great.
He is. He's good.
Excluding quarterbacks.
He literally every single week he proves that like wow, he is a fantastic, great wide receiver to have.
Yeah, what a
Um,
dude.
next JMO played, JMO is JMO, two receptions for 69 yards. That is what you see out of JMO. No touchdown. The touchdown would have been huge, but he ended up getting banged up, I believe, in like the third quarter, and then he didn't come back in, unfortunately. So maybe it could have been a bomb, but that is pure JMO. I will say, I think I am trending a little bit forward on the JMO train. I'm not gonna say he's gonna be like a dynamic wide receiver, but he's like a good like boom bust wide receiver. I guess kind of like moving forward, he's definitely getting more plays and more snaps. He was injured last season from his ACL injury, and that was his first time back. And then he was obviously suspended at the beginning of this season. So he's just like he's getting it together. He's pulling some.
Yeah, he's definitely progressing
He's
throughout the
still
season.
yes.
In the middle of the year, there was a lot of worry that he just wasn't doing anything. But the last, what, 6, 7 weeks, he's been ramping up in the offense. I agree. I think he's a better hold than a sell. So I
Yes,
agree.
unless you
I
want
agree
to
with you.
sell, you can sell if you want to. I mean, no one's telling you to hold them, but this is probably a good time, if someone's into him, like, hey, you
Yeah,
know,
if you get premium for him,
you wonder
absolutely.
what he would sell him for. Like, Mike, are you selling him for a second, or do you want that first of like where he was drafted? Like, what's the scenario there? Do you want to keep him? Something to consider. Something to consider.
I don't think
Yeah.
he's not that bright. I don't think he's catching these hints.
But yeah, so obviously the projections are super off. Jose looks like he's going to absolutely destroy him. The Jared Goff thing is a huge, huge blow. It's really you're gonna have to hope that Geno Smith can make up some of those QB points. Amon-Ra, St. Brown, he did his job.
To give Mikey some hope, Bijan can beat 14 points. Walker can beat 12 points. Higgins can beat 11 points. Evan Ingram can beat 10 points. Chuba, I'm not going to give him any benefit, but everyone seems to think Chuba is killing it these days.
Cuba is killing it these days.
I just, yes, he is. If you just look at the points, sure. I just can't, I can't back it
You
up.
know what you look at? You look at volume, volume. You see that? 16
Yeah.
carries, 22 carries, 23 carries, 25 carries. It is all, excuse me, it's all about volume.
If he gets you that 20-point game, then you know, I'll bite my tongue.
Volume. Running backs
But
are
we know
volume.
Wicks. We know Wicks can outscore 7 points. So to make up for Goff and then hopefully even just making up for Goff, but even getting your projecting yourself to beat Jose, Gino has to have a 20-point game. That's pretty much that has to happen. But all of his players can outperform these predictions.
Yeah,
But the
I
question is,
mean,
does it matter? That's the question.
yeah, it really is going to be up to that. He just, if you go by position to position, like Carvin Williams, CMC, it's honestly not even close for me. Like Bijan Robinson and Kenneth Walker, great names, but they have been incredibly inconsistent. And if you go
Yeah.
to the other side, this is a motto of pure consistency. Carvin
Yep.
Williams,
Maybe the two
CMC,
most consistent running
it's
backs in the
just
game right now.
it's just ridiculous. It's not even
Yeah.
close. Like, and you look at that, week one, you're looking at this, you're like, wow, this is a pretty evenly tight matchup right here. You got Bijan and Kenneth Walker. You might even lean that side, but it's not even a question. We're
Yeah.
week 17, not even a question. I want Kyron
Yeah.
and CMC.
Yeah.
But you go to the wide receivers. I'm on Ross St. Brown, T. Higgins, over Romeo Dobbs and Cooper Cup. So
I would probably say St. Brown and right now T Higgins without
I
Jamar
would
Chase. I would say I would take
I
that side.
would agree for sure. Cooper Cup, it's really going to depend on what Cooper Cup really does today. Romeo Dobbs, used to find himself in the end zone every single week. So I don't know, maybe he comes back to life a little bit
Yeah,
here.
maybe that happens again. Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely do lean more the wide receivers for Mikey over Jose at this current time. So
Did you say earlier that Raheem is definitely not playing.
He is not expected to play.
So let's look at who Jose is going to have to put in there. And also, Alvin Kamara is looking questionable too. What is it? What's it saying right there? They got a nice little yellow
He was
tag for you.
he was sick. He's literally just has an illness.
Okay, so he'll probably play. Expected to
I'm
be active.
basically
Okay,
Adam Schefter here today.
yeah,
But Raheem Mostert, yeah, I forget why he was banged up. Knee ankle. Isn't expected to suit up. So, and that's a 1 o'clock game. So we're gonna find that out literally before kickoff and all that good stuff.
yeah.
So
Scroll that down. Who is he going to throw in there?
Jalen Warren,
Jalen Warren is a good pick. Keenan
Tyler
Allen's
Lockett,
out. Amari Cooper's out. Wow,
Tyler
he's
Lockett,
actually pretty injured here in the championship. He is
yeah,
pretty injured.
low key. It's got to
I
be
think
Tyler. It's got to be Tyler Lockett, Jalen Warren, Khalil Herbert, also a sneaky play.
I think it's down to those first two. Do you play Lockett? Who's Lockett? Who are they going against? Seattle.
Pittsburgh.
That's a tough defense. And who's Warren? Oh,
Well,
Seattle's
they're
running game.
facing.
Oh,
They're
Seattle's running
facing.
game actually got a lot better when they picked up Lawrence from the not Lawrence. Yeah. No, not Lawrence. What's his name?
Hmm?
Williams. Leonard Williams from the
Oh,
Giants.
okay.
He started to make their run game a little bit tighter. I don't know. That's tough. I think I lean Warren. I just think he's more of a focal point of that offense
I feel like
compared to
Jalen
Lockett.
Warren. I feel like since the OC change though, he has been losing touches, which yeah, he has, but still getting a lot of receptions. So I think for the honestly, just looking at this reception upside, I also go Jalen Warren. Tyler Lockett,
Tyler Lockett's like boom bust.
yeah.
And his
I
booms
think
haven't really been booms. I really think
I think either way, you're still gonna get this like mediocre-ish game. I guess if you're going for the long shot here, I guess it would be Tyler Lockett.
I for me I'd go for consistency if I'm Jose. I already know that I have the big boom pieces, so I'm just trying to get something that in
So
my
you
spot that
want a
gets
good
10
floor.
digits.
You want a
Like
good
it
floor.
cannot be, yeah, it cannot be a Tyler Lockett like 4 point bust. Like that's just gonna hurt you.
Yeah,
So
for
I would
sure.
try to pick whoever can be relatively interesting, consistent in your lineup.
Yeah, so kind of enter him there.
Maybe listen, maybe it's tighter than it looks. Because I'll tell you
Yeah,
this: if come,
maybe.
it, McLaurin is not a guaranteed scorer. I love the guy, but he's just on a bad team, and they're going against San Francisco. The only team that's been shown to like move on San Francisco is Baltimore,
Yeah,
which
and
makes sense.
Scary Terry has not been good. So
Yeah,
that
I mean, it's
those are
just
ugly
interesting.
numbers. You know what? You might not be wrong. Losing Raheem Mostert and entering one of these other people, Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is still good. I would say you're really gonna need a big week from Chuba for sure and Wicks. It's not completely out of the question. I
Imagine
will
going on a 9-win game streak, Jose, and then you lose in the chip.
losing in the championship, but I don't
Like
know.
the 12 like the what was it, the 16-0 Patriots. What the heck were they when they went against the Giants back in
Yeah.
the day?
Yeah, they were going for 17-0 and the Giants ruined that, but I don't know. I obviously still lean Jose just because of what we currently have here. Like 25 to 44. He's only up 19 points and with two additional players. One of them is a QB, big hit,
Yeah,
right?
that's tough. Losing that QB pointage is tough.
It is. It's a big game changer. But you're not wrong. It's definitely not impossible. Everybody can go
Yeah.
absolutely insane. What if Bijan has his 50-point game today? Who knows? Um, but I obviously it's Jose for me for sure.
Yeah.
But
Jose's got the edge,
I
but
will
there is a
say,
world.
I will say, almost upset of the week here. So the Ballers do this. I don't really know who they picked this week because I don't pay attention to fantasy football because I'm not in any paint championships anymore. Um, the Giants. The,
Gosh, don't say that.
the Giants are gonna cover the spread today.
All right, they can do that, but they have to lose.
Okay, but they are gonna cover the spread today.
What is
That
the spread?
spread's currently at 5 points. It was at 6, so it is dropping. So look out for
Dang,
that.
6 would have been a
Look,
good one.
look
6 would have been
out
a good
for
one.
that.
Yeah.
Look out for it. Tyrod
6 would have
Taylor
been a
is
good
not
spread.
terrible. Uh,
Sheesh.
but yeah. I mean, I don't really have too much else to kind of say about this matchup, to be honest. It's going to be we're going to be really looking at these running backs here. Honestly, everybody's going to be in contention. Everybody matters for today, for
Hey,
sure.
in this league, everybody's a winner.
Yeah,
So who, one person's gonna win, one person's gonna win bigger.
one person's going to win bigger. But let's spend about 26 seconds on this matchup for the what is it for the 213 or 313?
Oh, you're such a punk. Oh, wait, is this? I thought that it was already settled. That's still happening right now?
Yeah, it's happening right now.
Are you sure? Check
Yeah,
the
look.
check the bracket. That might just be, the app doing its thing.
No, dude, this
I'm
there
pretty sure someone
it
already won that.
no, it is championship weekend for the losers bracket.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What do they get though? It's the 12, it's the
It's the
213,
third
it's
313.
313. It's the 313.
It's an extra pick in the third round, of
But
which Frankie's coming out swinging.
we look at this, yeah, we look at this real quick. Brees Hall,
Oh,
pass.
Elijah Moore figured it out. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Did you see him? You see his injury?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
devastating. That's why
Pretty.
I'm kind of surprised, but I
Yeah.
didn't see the game, but I saw the highlight of his injury, so I'm kind of surprised he had 17 points
Yeah,
before that
he
happened.
scored a touchdown and everything against the Jets, revenge game. People love the revenge game. Um, yeah, I mean this it was a good start. It's exactly what you needed to happen, to get this contention of another pick. Obviously, if you just kind of like look at the other side though, it is so crazy Patrick's team did not make it. What a wild, wild time. Um,
Literally insane.
but good start from Frankie. That's exactly what you want to see. Obviously I still lean Patrick. Just the quarterbacks that Frankie's starting is so ugly. Mason Rudolph and Taylor Heineke.
Quarterbacks are a big deal, man.
Power to you. Power to you. But I got Patrick and the projection says that, and I'm going to continue to lean with that. So,
Yeah,
but
when you have the QB, when you have the QB lead, it's just hard to go against that.
Frankie did a good job on Thursday for sure. So,
Yeah. All right, boys, win that extra pick.
yes, sir. But yeah, that's it. So, yeah, I guess this is the last video until I don't know, we randomly kind of do one throughout the spring or summer or something. So,
Yeah, maybe we'll come up with some content with the
yeah,
rookie stuff, but we'll
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 see.
we'll we'll keep you guys on hold, all right? Don't
Yes.
expect too much from us.
All right, boys. It's been a good season. Seriously, good luck. Let's all hope that Jose loses. Not really. I don't care if Jose loses or wins, honestly. But I love a good underdog story. So
I'll tell you this, I don't think in this league there's going to be a force of sheer dominance like that in a while.
it's honestly the biggest force of dominance I've seen, like ever. And
I've only been in Dynasty for about 3 years, but this is the tidal wave of of points. So,
for sure.
if he does it, good for him. I don't think that it'll happen again next year, but we've been wrong before.
Yeah, for sure. But good luck. Happy Sunday. Enjoy the winnings.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Bye bye.